Thank you for joining us with Now I would like to introduce today's presenter, Mr. Anoop KT, structural designer and CEO of Agrico Designs and Associates, one of the leading structural designer and developer in Kerala, India. He is graduated and postgraduated from Anna University, Chennai. He has been working as a structural designer in 2009 and he having more than 10 certifications on various technical areas and having 12 international
Now I would
publications in
like
the
to
field of
introduce
today's
civil
presenter,
engineering.
Mr. Anoop KT, structural designer and CEO of Agrico
Welcome you,
Designs and
Anup sir,
Associates, one of the leading structural
and then
designer and
to the
developer in
audience.
Kerala,
If you
India.
have any
He is
questions
graduated
during the
and
presentation,
postgraduated
please
from Anna
type them in the
University,
comment
Chennai.
box.
He
If you
has
are in
been
YouTube
working
also,
as a structural designer in
and will clarify
2009
it in the question and answer section at the end.
and he having more
All,
than 10
and once more,
certifications on various technical
request for you
areas
all.
and having
All are
12
requested to mute
international
your
publications in
audio
the field
for
of
getting more
today's
voice civil
presenter,
engineering.
Mr. Anoop KT, structural
And then
designer
once
and
again,
CEO
welcome
of
you,
Agrico
welcome you,
Designs and
Anup sir.
Associates,
Now you can
one of the
start the
leading
section,
structural
and thank
designer
you
and
to the
developer in
audience.
Kerala,
If you
India.
have any
He is
questions
graduated
during the
and
presentation,
postgraduated
please
from Anna
type them in the
University,
comment
Chennai.
box.
He
If you
has
are in
been
YouTube
working
also,
as a structural designer in
and will clarify
2009
it in the question and answer section at the end.
and he having more
All,
than 10
and once more,
certifications on various technical
request for you
areas
all.
and having
All are
12
requested to mute
international
your
publications in
audio
the field
for
of
getting more
today's
voice civil
presenter,
engineering.
Mr. Anoop KT, structural
Hello, and then
designer
once
and
again,
CEO
welcome
of
you.
Agrico
Sir, is
Designs
it
and
audible for you?
Associates,
Now you can
one of the
start the
leading
section,
structural
and thank
designer
you
and
to the
developer in
audience.
Yes,
Kerala.
Alvin.
If
Is
you
it
have
audible for
any,
you
He is
too?
right now you
graduated
can
and
start. You can
postgraduated
present
from
your
Anna
presentation
University,
start.
Chennai. He
If you
has
are in
been
YouTube
working
also,
as a
I'm
structural
sharing my
designer in
screen.
and will
Please
clarify
2009
it
ensure
in
that
the
you
question
can
and answer
see my
section at
screen,
the end.
okay?
and he having more than
Okay, I will
10
check. Yes, right now
certifications
it's
on
came.
various technical
Request for you
areas
all.
and
Yeah, it's
having
okay. All are
12
requested to mute
international
your
Okay,
audio
publications in the
we
field
for
of
getting
present
more
the
voice civil
Presenter,
engineering.
Mr.
presentation.
Anoop KT, structural
Hello, and
designer
then once
and
again,
CEO
welcome
of
you.
Hope you
Sir,
can
is
Agrico
see
it
the
Designs
audible
screen
and
for
right
you?
now.
Associates,
Yes,
one
you
of
can
the
start the
leading
section,
structural
and thank
designer
you
and
to the
developer in
audience.
Yes,
Kerala.
Alvin.
He
So
If you
has
have
again, a
been
any,
very good
right now
evening
you
to
graduated
can
my
and
dear
start. You can
friends,
postgraduated
present
from
your
Anna
dear
presentation
University,
students
start.
Chennai. He
and
If you
has
are in
been
YouTube
professionals.
working
also,
as a
I'm
structural
sharing my
designer
today.
in
and will
We can
clarify
see
it
2009
in
something
the
and
question and
totally
answer
having
section at the
different
end.
thing
and he having more
that
than
we
Okay, I will
civil
check.
10
Yes,
engineers
right now
certifications
need
it's
on
to
came.
various
be
technical
Request for you
areas
all.
and
consider
Yeah, it's
having
in
all are
12
their
requested to mute
international
your
projects.
audio
publications in
Okay,
the
for
field
getting
of
more
present
voice
the,
civil
so that is
engineering.
nothing but performance we can increase. Also, we can increase our 6.4 percentage of our quality in our sleep. Again, we need to sleep well. So we have to think about the quality of sleeping also. These are also specific numbers which is obtained by studies and surveys conducted by various universities where the peoples need a healthy living environment in their space. Okay. Also, we can increase our 6.4 percentage of our quality. Myself, I am introducing myself as I am Anoop. Again, we need to I'm a CEO and a principal engineer of Agrico Designs. Think about as Mr. Alvin told all those things to you. These are also specific. Again, I am telling that after my studies, I decided to surveys conducted by various along with structural engineering consultation. I also decided to think more about the sustainable things in their space, which we need to implement in the projects. As like green buildings and I am introducing myself those things. We need to consider our environment in all the projects. As Mr. Alvin told all those things to you. So, what do you think? Again, I am telling that many professionals those who are working in their along with structural projects, but they may not aware of more healthy living environment living and biological health. Apart from that, we have to give a healthy environment too. So to get a healthy environment, we need to think that what is a sick building or what are the difficulties what we see in the buildings to improve our health conditions. Okay. So there are some problems with the buildings. There is nothing but sick buildings we can see. It's not commonly seen in the buildings. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And we have to think about the light. Concentrate because there should be proper light. We should reduce the glare. We should give proper lighting in each and every corner of the house. And last, we need some standard cleanliness also. Okay. Sorry. So let's start about how to implement all those things. We have to think about giving you some tips how to do all those things in our projects. Okay. So that is we call it as a space for a healthy living. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the five major things that that is going to be considered in our health. Okay. So the first thing is respiratory health. So second thing we are going to deal about the thermal health, and third vision health, and hearing health, and last we are going to see the posture health. Okay, let's see one by one how to increase our respiratory health. Respiratory is nothing but to feel or inhale a good air. Sorry, good air. Okay, so for that we need a, a high level of air quality is needed. High level of air quality means there should be a good air circulation in our home. Okay, then we need to provide ventilation. There should be proper ventilations. There should be cross ventilation. Again, there should be proper ventilation spaces should be provided. So the air will be traveled from one end to the other when through this ventilation. It's nothing but large windows, doors, again, air escape holes or whatever things. Then we have to do open spaces should be there. In each and every rooms in our home or a building, there should be some open spaces. So the fresh air will enter through those open spaces. Then we need air filters. Air filters and cleaning. Okay, air filters means we have to provide some filters to in the air where the air is entering from outside to in our building. Okay, there are a lot of air filters things are there. Air purifiers are there. We can use all those things inside the room to get a clear or a good air. Okay. So for this air filtration, we can see something that the natural ventilation should be there. Okay, natural ventilation is nothing but open spaces like windows, doors, all those things. We will give you a natural ventilation. If the room is cannot be ventilated as natural, or we cannot provide these types of windows, then we have to go for an artificial ventilation. Artificial ventilation is nothing but by using mechanisms we have to do. For this artificial mechanism, we have to think about the volume of air. Volume of air depends upon the occupancy, size of the room, and all those things. Okay. So this is nothing but this air ventilation. Then we had to avoid air contamination also. How this air contamination will occur in our home or in a particular room? There are several things to be considered. For example, from the air from which is coming from the outside, if you see some garbages or garages outside, if any drainages are there, all these air will be come inside to our home. While designing a home or a room, we have to consider the environment around the room. We have to consider outside the window if there is a backyard which have a lot of dirty things, or if there is any drainage, or if there is any sanitation things are there like septic tank or those things are there. We have to consider all those things and the air direction also. If such things are there, we have to provide some air filters, or we have to avoid door or windows openings to that side, and we have to provide additional openings to the other side. That means if north side have some problems like this, we have to give ventilation from east or west, like that way. Okay. For calculating all this ventilation, amount of air to be considered, we have a lot of softwares that are available. Also, if you are familiar with these IS codes, our building IS code tell all these things about how much of ventilation is required, how much of air to be intaken, and what is the volume of people's using that room. According to all those things, we have to consider this type of ventilations and artificial ventilations required. We have to see. And the next thing is control of humidity. What happens if the humidity is increasing? Definitely the temperature is also get increased. So we have to make control on humidity. If we are designing a home, we have to consider the environment outside. If it is rainy day, or it is in a climate where humidity is high, or there is a climate if the humidity is very less, we have to compensate all those things by doing artificial methods. There are a number of methods to control this humidity by using some mechanisms. If there is low humidity, we have to provide some water. Lot of things are there. Okay. Then again, we have to treat the VOCs. What is VOCs? VOCs means it's volatile organic components. Okay. Volatile organic components is nothing but some gas formations which is coming from the interior products that we are using in our home. Like what we can say from the paint, or the construction materials, or from the new furnitures, or from the cushions. If you enter into a new car, you may be noticed there is a smell from inside the new car. That smell is nothing but it's an organic component which is coming from these materials. Okay, such materials is actually very makes problems to our respiratory things. Some people may face breathing difficulties. Some people may have cough. All these things depends upon these VOCs producing from the materials. Okay, these are if the temperature is high, these materials may increase or they produce more VOCs from those materials. So we should consider these materials while doing interior designing part. As I told earlier, we are all civil engineers and we are very much familiar and we are thorough with making plans. A good layout plan we can make. Before making all those things, we have to consider all each and every element inside the building, like furnitures, which paint to be used, which type of materials to be used, such all those things we have to consider. And also the environmental conditions like cold or dry. Some materials may produce gases in cold conditions. So we have to, if we are planning a home in a cold conditions, we have to consider those things. So which material to be is more suitable, we have to consider. Okay, so while choosing this type of materials, we have to choose the material which have low volume of VOCs. Okay, then we can see air flush inside the room. All these things which are considering only for our respiratory health. Okay, air flush. Air flush means we have to remove the air inside our home. Normally, we peoples will use to close the doors and windows for the whole day or for a long time. We will close the entire doors. Sometimes, very few peoples will use to open a single window only. So what? Once in 2 or 3 days, we have to open all the windows and all the doors for around 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, depends upon the room size, and we need to flush out the air. So if we have a very good opening space, this air will be automatically flushed. If we don't have such an open ventilation, then we have to go for some mechanical methods for air flushing. By simply using a ceiling fan or a pedestal fan and facing the fan outside the room will easily flush out your air from the room to the outside. So what happens is that your room will have a good airflow which gives a nice feeling breathe. Then the thing is filtration for VOCs. Okay. Apart from doing all those things, again if we go for flushing of air by means of mechanical or opening all the doors and windows, again we will close the doors. If we want to switch on the AC, what we will do, again we have to close all the doors. It will start reducing warmth and other materials. So we have to think about how to do this. It's not it is easy. Avoid or reduce VOC. First thing, the material selection. We have to select the materials which have low VOCs. Okay. Another thing is that we can use plants. There are n number of plants, indoor plants we can use. So these indoor plants, excuse me, somebody's voice is getting. It will be convenient if the mic is switched off. All right, we will come back. So what? Okay. So by using these plants, indoor plants, there are a number of indoor plants are there. These indoor plants, they will use all these VOCs and emit good and fresh oxygen. So indirectly, we will get good oxygen from these plants, and these VOCs will be get emitted. Another thing is making a natural air ventilation. Try to open the windows and doors. Only close when and required. Okay. Another thing, what I told is that go for air filtrations. There are n number of equipments available. We can use those filters to filter these impurities and to make a good air flow. What happened? Please wait. Something went wrong. Is it audible right now? Hello?
Yeah, it's audible. It's audible.
Something went wrong to my computer. It is getting stuck. Please hold on. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Because I'm not able to change my screen.
It's audible and clear.
All right, but I don't know what happened because I'm not able to change my screen. Okay. All right. Okay, these are the things which have to see while considering the health or for the respiratory. Okay, the major thing is we should provide proper ventilation. Next, we can see the thermal health. Okay, what is thermal health? That is nothing but the room temperature inside and outside of the building we have to consider. Normally, we design for a building or a home which 3 BHK, that is 3 bedroom, 1 hall, 1 kitchen, or whatever things we have to design. We are going to design all these buildings. While designing, we have to consider the temperature of that particular zone, whether it has a low temperature area or it has a high temperature area. While considering for the Palakkad zone, it is in a high temperature area. If we go for Wayanad, the temperature will be less. So in our plan or in our building layout, we have to consider this thermal health conditions also. So for that, we have to treat the thermal conditions. If it is a heavy and temperature areas, we can control the temperature by using ACs. If it is in a low temperature area or a cold region, we can go for heaters. It's normal, quite and known for everyone. So that is nothing but the thermal control. We have to control. Okay. So what happens if the temperature is high in a room? If the temperature is high in the room, normally what happens is that the productivity of the people inside the room will get reduced. Normally, if the heat is high, we will get sweat and we will get more tired. And if it is in the opposite side, if it is too cold, what happens? We will feel laziness. So that means there should be an adequate temperature for our working. Okay, that is thermal situations. So we have to consider it. There should be some optimal temperature also inside the room. We have to maintain the temperature like 26 degree or 27 degree is the optimum temperature for workability. So if it is in a very cold region and the temperature is below 20 degrees, we have to go for some heating arrangements inside the rooms to make inside the room is 26 to 27 degrees Celsius heat. Again, if the temperature is high, like 37 degrees or 40 degrees, depends upon the area where we are living, we have to consider all these temperatures and we have to think how to reduce the temperature inside the room by means of installing AC. If you are installing AC, we have to go for this energy consumption will be high. So what's the next step? We have to go for thermal insulation. That means the temperature from the outside has to be reduced inside the building. That means the entire temperature should not come into the building. For that, we have to go for some thermal insulation methods. Okay. This is already, I have talked to you that adequate temperature for everyone. You will see the thermal insulations in detail. Okay. And then for adequate temperature, it depends upon the number of people occupying in the room. If there is only 1 or 2 people, okay, the normal temperature will be compensated. If there are 10 people are working in a small room, like a 10 by 10 room or in a 12 by 15 feet room, if there is 10 people or 15 people, normally our body will start to transmit heat. So we have to consider that also. That is why we are using air conditions inside the room to reduce the body heat, also to maintain the room temperature. Instead of using this AC, we have to go for ventilations also. If there is a proper cross ventilation and some thermal insulations in the sides of window, the temperature from the outside will be reduced and we can use. Okay. So this temperature will depend upon the space or the area of the room. Okay, if it is a small room, the temperature will instantly get increased. If the okay, so the space of the room depends upon the occupancy. If there is 10 number, we have to consider the space depends upon the ratio. All these things are very clearly written in our IS codes. Then we have to expand the area. More people need to be accommodated. We have to expand our room size. Again, it is depends upon the type of work what we are doing inside the room. If we are sitting in a room and doing it based on the computer, there will be temperature from the computer will be rising. If there are machines are using in the room, we have to consider all those things for getting a thermal control inside the building. Okay. For this calculation of thermal controls also, we have softwares are available. All our free softwares and paid softwares are available for calculating these thermal emissions from these instruments, from the body, and a lot of things. Okay. Okay. The next thing is we have to consider the sun. While constructing a building or designing a building or a home, we have to consider the sun direction, from which direction the sun is rising and at which direction the sun is going to set. Also from season to season, that means from winter to summer, likewise, the sun has some orientation towards north and as well as towards south. The sun is not exactly rising from the east. The sun moves from north and also the sun moves a little bit towards the east. So we have to consider this direction of sun movement in a home orientation of rooms. Okay. We should utilize the sunlight into the room. And also there should not be excess light should not enter into the room. What happens if excess sunlight get inside the room? Normally, the room temperature will increase. So this is a major part. While considering, if we are considering a room in the west side, all bedrooms if you are considering on the west side, what happens? The evening sunset, the light from the sunset is more hotter than in the morning. What happens? Normally the room and the walls will be get heated and the room temperature is also will increase. So here we have to consider about the thermal insulations. The thermal insulations can be done like we can provide some tinted glasses in our window. For not providing normal glass, we can provide some tinted glass, a colored glass or something like that. What happens? The light will enter through the glass, but the heat will not be entered. So we will get light. Then another thing, the wall should be insulated. If the sunlight is more exposed on the wall, like west wall, we have to go for some thermal insulations. There are a number of methods are there. You can give some vacuum spaces in between the walls in the west side. There will be a natural thermal insulation will be there. That means if your wall have a 9-inch thickness, you can make a small gap in between that 9 inches, like 4 inches on the other side and the 4 inches on the left side wall. Provide a small 1-inch gap in between the wall. It will act like a thermal insulator. You may be noticed in trains and aircrafts, there will be two glasses. The two glasses is for providing a thermal insulation or to reduce the radiations from the sun. Maybe noticed it. Okay. Or while you are traveling on the next time, just notice through the glasses of the train or through the aircraft. You can see there will be two glasses. Okay. Again, we have to optimize the use of lights. If normally all the people will ask to provide sunlight or skylight inside our building. We can give sunlight or the skylight inside our buildings like corridors or dining room or patio, whatever places we can provide it. It is actually good. We don't need to go for normal lights. So we can save the energy. But you have to consider how much of volume of light should be entered into the building. If you give more opening spaces for entering in light, definitely the room temperature will increase. It will be more difficult. So we have to consider that while providing a roof look. That is the thing, but we have skylighting. Okay. Next we will move on to the third thing, that is vision health. One of the most important thing is that our vision. Without our eyes, what can we see? How can we design? How can we live? Think life is very difficult. So we especially our eyes inside a building. How can we give light? There are we will give lights by two methods, that is natural lighting and second one is artificial lighting. Always natural light is good to our eyes. We have to give opening spaces, as we told above, we have to give proper opening spaces to enter the natural light inside our home. While entering this natural light, we have to consider the UV radiations coming from the sun. For that, we have to go for filter medias like what I told, tinted glass or cooling glasses or one-side view glasses. All those things will help to prevent entering of UV lights from the sun. And the most safest thing is providing natural light inside the building. Artificial light, we have fluorescent bulbs are there, normal incandescent lights are there, LED lights are there. So if we are providing LED lights, make sure that LED have the proper standards. With our naked eyes, we cannot see the blinking of LED lights. If you use a mobile camera and focus to the LED bulb, you can see the flickering of the LEDs. With our normal eye, we can't see. So there are a lot of companies are there. We have to check with the markets which LED lights have the flickering rates are very less. Okay, or which give a constant lighting. While providing LED lights, we have to consider if you are going for a branded item, normally the company will maintain the standards of lighting systems. Okay. And the other part of providing lighting, normally we or the architects all focus on the aesthetic view of the building and the interior part. To give more aesthetic, what normally people will do is that give more light. What happens if you give more light to the object or to the wall or to the furniture or to the photos you provided on the wall? What happens? There will be glare. So what happens if there is a glare inside the room? It creates very difficulty to our eyes. It makes eye gets pain. We will feel headache. Running eyes will be there. Such lot of problems we will face. Okay, so there should not be any glare inside the building. This is what we have told: light sources reduce the light glare. Okay, and the third part is optimum intensity of the light. Optimum intensity means how much of volume of light is required in a room. It depends upon the size of the room, how much square feet is the room size, how much people are occupying inside the room, what type of furniture are using inside the room, what type of color patterns are using inside the room. We have to consider all those things. So it depends upon the materials, the color we are using, the intensity of the light inside the room is also we have to optimum. Okay. So let's see. This is a case study which has two floor plans. On the left side, this is a floor plan. It's given the normal lighting. Here, this is a room which have given the lightings after correction. Okay. Let's see what is shown in this picture. So, a nominal spread of light in all cases. This dark spots indicates the dark area or where there is less light. This yellow spot means it is the glare from the building. It may be from the floor, maybe from the wall or from the roof. Okay. So here what happens is that 84% of area is properly lighted and 31% have the glare. So what happens after correction, giving corrections to the lighting system? We have a normal spread over here. The light is normally spreaded. All these places where the no colors are given is properly color spreaded. And here you can see the black areas are get reduced while comparing to this. That means the dark spots are get reduced. Apart from that, we have to focus about the glare. Actually, the glare is becoming more difficult for our eyes. See, here the glare is get reduced. That yellow color portion is the glare area. In the first case, the glare is high, and in the second case, the glare is get reduced. See, the glare is just 9%. We have to think that the glare inside the building should be less than 10%. Okay. If you are going for LEED certifications or green buildings, you may be familiar with all those things, green buildings, then LEED certifications, etc. So in such cases, this light reflection or the light glare should be reduced into 9%. Then only we have a good, healthy vision inside the building. So while coming into these points, that the minimum light intensity should be 300 lux. Normally, the lights are measured in lux, LUX, lux. And the maximum light we can give is 8000 lux. The light from the sun is beyond 8000. That's why we cannot look at the sun. So the minimum lighting inside the room should be minimum to be 300 lux and maximum up to 500 lux. We will see in detail about the lux, how much is lux and how much is wattage and everything we can see. Okay. So in this place where this black colors indicates that it is the light which have 300 less than 300 lux. Okay. And this yellow portions means it is more than 1000 lux. We have to reduce the 1000 lux into 500 lux. Okay, just half. Then only the glare will be get reduced. Okay. There is no software. This is a screenshot of the software which is we can use to control the reflection of reflections from the wall or from the roof or from the furnitures and even from the floor. There are a lot of parameters we can give in the left and right side. I'm not going in detail with the software. Okay, this is a small screenshot of the software. Okay. So in this screen, you can see there is a light is spreading more in this region. We have calculations on this area. And finally, by providing its inputs like the materials, reflection, its absorption, each and every material have the light intensity of light absorption and the intensity of light reflection. Each and every material have. If we go through this internet based on the material entry, just make a material and enter how much is the light reflection from a material. You just Google it, you can see. And all these volumes has to be considered. And if we go for a health hazardous report is there is a particular report, health hazardous report. It is clearly given in the internet for each and every materials we are using. In that report, each and everything about the material is written, like its hazardous value, what type of hazardous it may cause, what is the light intensity, how much of volume of light it will absorb. Like all those things will be written, will be clearly shown in that report. Okay. I'm not going into detail into that report. We are coming into this software. So after making such corrections, see this screen shows that the corrections are made and we have given a proper lighting inside the room with 300 lux. Depends upon the working environment, we have to increase it into 500 lux also. See in this picture, we have given a proper lighting arrangements. So with the help of this software, we can do all those things, and the name of the software is Dial X, and it is a freely available software. Okay. Okay, coming back to this vision health. So what I told is that we have to do this optimum intensity of light. This optimum intensity can be calculated by using the software also, or by with our practical experience, we can do all those things. How to optimum this intensity of the light? We have to control the sunlight, and also we have to control the artificial lighting systems also. See, for a bedroom, the minimum light should be 300 lux. Okay. Then for kitchen, we have to give more light, that is 500 lux. For commercial areas where more people are getting working, or if it is in a factory area like that, we have to give 500 lux. Office spaces also we have to give 500 lux. So if we are having in a working environment, normally we provide 300 luxes. That is nothing but in a warm light. Always warm light give a good working environment, which feel as a good working conditions. Okay, which gives an easy to work. If it is in a very dark high light, our eyes will get tired. So what happens is that we will easily get tired. So we have to reduce the light intensity by providing 300 lux or a maximum of 500 lux. This is in a small screenshot which I took from an internet using Google. How to calculate the lux value into the wattage. One second, please. Okay. See, the first screen shows that it is 300 lux. I already talked to you that for the room, we have to provide 300 lux. How we can calculate or how we can provide 300 lux? There are equipments are available to measure lengths. Length meters are available. If you noticed where any film shootings are there, or if any ad shoots are there, there will be one light engineer will be there hanging an instrument in his neck and working here and there. That small instrument is nothing but called lux meter. With that meter, we can calculate how much of light is there. Okay, I'm not going more detail into that instrument. We will come back to here. As we are considering about the room size, so to calculate the light intensity, we have to fix 300 lights should be there in the room. So what happens is that we have to consider the room space. Okay, what type of light we are providing? Here I have given two examples. One is fluorescent lamp and another one is LED lamp. Okay, so the fluorescent lamp is there. Then we have to provide the surface area. This is a small calculations which we can easily available through our internet sources. We have a square feet area of 150 square feet. It's nothing but a small bedroom. Okay, it is nothing but a 15 feet length and a 10 feet of width. Room shows 150 square feet. So this 150 square feet room, we have to illuminate 300 lux. Okay, so with these calculations, it's very clearly shown that the total power of watt power is 69.67 watt of lights we have to provide. So if we are providing uniformly this 69 watts in total, that means 30 watts bulb of 3 or 40 watts of 2 and another 10 watt. Okay, in such a way we have to distribute. If it is 69, we can give 20, 20, 20, then a 10 watt bulb, such way. Or we can distribute by half 2 lights of 30, 30 in such a way. Okay. While coming into the LED lamp, what happens is that for the same surface area of 150 square feet, the watt or the power is reduced. See, it is 46 watt. If you are providing two LEDs of 20 watts, is more than sufficient to give this 300 luminous intensity of light in a room. Okay, this is a small example. With this, you can calculate depends upon the room. So the luminous is a fixed value of light which we need inside the room, and that value will be, as I told earlier, these values are observed by the objects inside the room. So we have to consider the room space, we have to consider other things, and we have to provide the proper wattage of bulb. Okay, while telling about the luminous or the intensity of the light, we normally say in terms of watts. 20 watt bulb will do, 40 watt tube we have to provide, such things we can see, but these watts are coming from this luminous values. Okay. Next we can see to the hearing health. Hearing health is the other important thing inside the room. This hearing ability will give a good focus on your work. If you are not properly audible to the sound inside a room, we can't understand what he is conveying to you. See, in your classrooms, you may be noticed that the professor is going to give a lecture from the end of the room, and there will be a good echo. Maybe a very good echo will be there, and to the last row of the bench, there won't be voice will be very less. So we have to consider such things inside the building, depends upon the room size and what is going to be done inside that building. So there should be proper hearing each and every corner of the room. There should be proper hearing. How to maintain that? For getting the proper voice inside the room, we have to think about its noise. There may be noise in the outside, noise in the inside of the building also. If you are using fans, ACs and other things inside the room, there should be noise from all those things. So we have to reduce the noise from all those things. Again, from the outside noise. Now, this is nothing but called noise pollution. These noises should be, we have to, all these noises are calculated in decimal, and we have to consider, depends upon the equipment using, if you are using fans, ACs, duct ACs, all those things, the total noise will be less than 40 decibels. Then only there will be a proper audible. Okay. So we have to reduce the background noises also. These background noises will, how it will be happen, because if the doors and windows are open, there will be noise from the outside. Again, there we have to provide noise filters or we have to provide windows and doors to be closed, or we have to provide some what is that, noise reduction things. Okay, how these noises are making inside a room, we'll see. Okay, so the things, focus on the works. As I already told you that if there is a high noise inside the room, we cannot focus on our work. Okay, then what is the eliminate acoustic discomfort? That is, we are going to see how we can eliminate. If there is a noise inside the room, we have to eliminate it. If there is a noise coming from the outside of the room, we have to see our room as a soundproof room. We have to do it. Okay, that is nothing but elimination of size. Then how to reduce the noise pollution? We have to consider the noise pollution should be reduced from the outside. All these things we have talked. Speak. Okay. Now you can see how these noises are produced. That is nothing but the reverberation. You may be hear about this word reverberation. What is reverberation? We can see what is reverberation. Reverberation is nothing but the voice we are. See, here is a person is speaking from here. He is conveying some messages. These message sounds waves are moving in this way and get reflected from the wall, and it is again moved to the ceiling, and that voice is getting back to him. That is nothing but echo or a reverberation or double voice, whatever it is we call it. Okay. These reverberations are how it is happening. These reverberations are happening by the sound reflection from these medias. So we have to consider how to reduce these reverberations. For this reducing these reverberations or the double voice or echo, whatever it is, we have to use acoustic panels. There are acoustic panels we can use inside the room to reduce this voice. Inside a room, if you are using a mic with a speaker, the sound will be high. So normally the walls or the furniture inside the rooms will start to what I can say, reflect the voice. We will hear the double voice to us. So finally, what we are trying to convey will not reach to the people. So we have to use acoustic panels. It's available in the market. So the sound will be absorbed by these panels. We have to use furniture. If you are using steel furniture, using for we are providing cushions above the so should be less than 0.7. For each and every elements, what I told you before, like VOCs, each and every elements have their own reverberation values. So we have to consider the things like which have less than 0.7 reservation coefficient. Okay, reverberation coefficient should be less than 0.7. Hope this is clear to you. Then, where we need to consider all these reverberation values. If we are considering a home, it is that much not important. Even though it's important in the room, if it is in a big hall, we have to consider these reverberation values because we have to use our TVs inside our hall. The people or the kids will use high volume. What happens is finally we can't hear anything. So inside our hall or in a room, we have to consider all those things to get a clear voice from our TV. Or if you're installing a home theater inside your room, we have to consider this reverberation to get a crystal clear voice from this. Okay. So, and major conditions in school, colleges, meditation centers, auditorium, cinema halls, clubs, meeting halls, conference rooms, in all these areas, we have to definitely consider all these reverberations. Okay. Again, while coming into this reverberation, this is all we told about this internal part. Okay. What about the external part of the building? Again, in the external part of the building, there are walls, windows, and the height of the building is also reflect this reverberation. Then air circulation of that particular area will also affect all those things. So we have to consider if you are providing in a meeting hall or if you are providing an open auditorium outside a building, as we are engineers, we have a lot of projects, and in some projects We have to give an open auditorium concept also. So normally some professionals, oh, okay, it is an open auditorium. We won't think about all those things. But definitely we have to think about this reverberation for an open auditorium also. Some people, some buildings are there. I have seen some college buildings are there in a square pattern where the center part of the area is get opened. That central area is given open for providing a ventilation purpose. But if we make a program, or if we are going to do a program in that central courtyard area, definitely there will be reverberations. So we have to go for acoustic things to reduce these reverberations. Okay. While coming to the outside, we have to consider the wall of the height of the wall of each and surrounded buildings. The windows. Windows are always reflecting the voice. Okay. So we have to consider all those things, and where and which areas we need these absorbents, acoustic absorbents are required. We have to provide it on the outside walls also. You may be noticed that in our Vishu or some places, or if we are using to blast crackers, our windows will be get vibrated. And outside, if we are blasting this, what we say, patakam, okay, or in Hindi, pataka. If we blast all those things, definitely our glasses get vibrations. If we are providing acoustic, these things, okay, sound absorbing things outside the building sources, definitely these things can be reduced. I can reduce such accidents also. Okay. Now we can see about the last thing as posture health. Posture health is also most important thing inside a living space. As the picture shows, you can see what I'm going to tell about the posture health. Posture health is nothing but our body movements. We have to consider each and every corner of our living space about how our hands and legs and our heads are reaching. The headroom of the building, the positions of cupboards, the positions of furnitures, all those things comes under this posture health. The position where the TV need to be fixed. It is also a very important thing. Okay, we will come in detail like this way. So if you are designing a home, we have to consider each and every member of that home, how they are going to utilize that building or that home. There may be small kids, there may be tiny tall peoples, there may be medium peoples with medium heights, such a way. So we have to consider their movements also. Then what type of work they are doing. Okay. So from getting these optimizations, we have to measure each and every furnitures, and we have to give some adjustments in their height or in their movements. Okay. Likewise, at what height we have to provide the switches of light, at what height we have to provide light, at what level we have to provide the TV. If you are going for a wall mounted TV, definitely we have to think at what height the TV should be fixed. I have noticed in many projects that the TV height is beyond the normal level. If you are sitting in a couch and watching the TV, your head should not be raised more than the, your head should not be raised. Okay, your head level should be in a straight level. Your sitting posture should be in a straight way. So if you sit straight or in a relaxed manner, with a soft cushion on your neck, you should be easily see your TV. In major places, however, I have seen that the TV is beyond somewhat 5 feet high or something like that. So if you're sitting in the furniture and you have to raise your head and to watch the TV, which causes you a pain on your neck. Okay, these are some simple tips which have to be considered. Because we have to consult each and every projects. If you are getting in a project, we have to consider all those things, not for simply providing a plan. We have to see each and every elements like this. Okay. Then again, next thing we have to consider the height of the corridors. Heights of corridor settings. If you are providing some sitting outside in the corridor, or if there is any loft, we have to consider our head should not be hit over there. Okay. Then headrooms, or if you are providing some mechanized floors, or if you are providing some room spaces which is like 7 feet or something like that, we have to consider that headroom sizes also. There should not be any accidents. Okay. Then the next thing we have to consider is the space between the furnitures. We have to provide a lot of furnitures inside our room, but there should be adequate space between the furnitures in order to heat. If we are walking through these corridors or walking through the inside our rooms, we should not hit on the furnitures. By hitting all those things, again we will get accidents, we will get pain. Again, it is not a healthy procedure. Okay, so we have to consider these things also. Where to fix the furniture? How to fix the furniture? What type of furniture we have to need depends upon the people who is using that furniture. Okay, that means the consider the size of the furnitures, like means size of the things. Again, we have in this picture illustration, I have given a kitchen cabinet sizes, all those things. Okay, so here a woman is working in this kitchen. Woman is sitting inside the kitchen and she's doing something. Okay, this is another working area. Okay, see here the lady is going to take some things from the cupboard. Okay, these things are we have to consider inside the kitchen. Okay, also in the bedroom cabinets also. See, okay, here are some tips which I have given here. What is the height of the kitchen cabinets? Okay, let's see. The major part is that there will be women are working inside our home. They are spending their 85% to 90% in their kitchen from the whole time, like 8 hours or 10 hours or even 2 hours they are in the kitchen. They need to cook food for us. So we have to consider their health. It is the most important health, okay? Most important part, because they are giving health to us. So the people who are working inside the kitchen, we have to give special consideration by providing the height of their working area, like kitchen cabinets. Okay. So depends upon the person who is working inside the kitchen, we have to give their height. Here it is. Minimum there should be 80 centimeter of height should be given here. And the width, it should be 60 centimeters, 2 feet. If you are given 90 feet, what happens? The lady needs to be stretched here to get the things which give a pain on her back. Or not upon her. If a man is also working, that happens. Okay. So the height has to be considered. There are a lot of standards are there. At one height, we have to provide all those things. Okay, while sitting, we have to consider the height of the stool or the chair. At what height it should be provided. See, the leg is fixed here. The distance from the leg to the table. And if you are sitting in this way, one space need to be provided. There is a small drawer is given here for working. See, we have to consider all these things. The height is clearly given here. If you are using these kitchen cupboards, see, the second cupboard should be given in this height. There are specifications are given, okay. So like 6 feet height, the second cupboard should be there. And the third cupboard, we have to use a small ladder like this. Again, that ladder has to be considered. So simply telling what is that our body stretching and bending should be minimized in all working areas. See the cooking table height based on this stove we are using. Okay, if we are using hoops, which that is we are cutting the slab and inserting that hook, the height of the slab can be given up to 90 centimeter or 85 centimeter. But I optimum give an optimum height of 80 to 85 because normally all the women have their heights of about less than 6 feet, like 5 feet 2 inches or 5 feet 5 inches or 5 feet 6 inches. Okay. So that's why I am telling that this height should be, or in the kitchen, this height should be minimum to 80 centimeter from the finished floor level. So we have to consider this thing. Normally in the construction of houses, in the kitchen, we normally give concrete slabs, but we have to consider the height here before going the slab concreting. Okay. Also like the washed areas, the sink height. Okay, if we are going for the normal stove, there will be the stove will be kept above the slab. So we have to consider the overall height of the stove from the bottom. Otherwise, what happens is that the weight, the utensils which they are using on this stove have weight. They have to take all those things in a heavy manner, which give them back pains and all other things. We have to consider that health. That is nothing but posture health. Washing area is also there. And about the staircase bottoms, I told you we can give a lot of staircase areas of the in the buildings. Normally we provide staircases from inside the living area or dining area. There will be empty spaces inside the or below the staircases. We can utilize all those areas. Normally, we provide doors over there. If you are providing a trolley type things are there with wheels, then what happens? You don't want to bend and stretch into the inside the window. You can simply pull the trolleys and you can use it easily. So you can provide trolleys for inserting these things inside the or the bottom area of the staircases. It's a small tip. You don't want to bend your body. Okay. That is what it is clearly given here. Reduce the maximum bending stresses. Okay. All right. So that's these are the things what I'm trying to explain to you for making a healthy building environment. Okay. So by achieving all these things, what we achieve? See, these are the small and simple tips we can implement in our projects. All architects used to do all those things. We civil engineers should think like an architect to implement each and every things in our projects. Then only our projects will be come ahead or it will be an iconic project. Okay. So what is the better thing? So what's so what we get or what we achieved from this? We can achieve a better living space for yourself, for your clients, and for your family. Again, we can improve the quality of living. In the sense, if you are giving a proper ventilations, if you are reducing the heat, and if you are giving good acoustic things, what happens finally? You will get a quality of living. You will get a piece of living inside your room. Again, you can get a sound sleep also. Sleeping is an important thing in our life. You will definitely get a good sleep. By getting in a fresh air inside the room, positive energy will feel. Again, our stresses will be reduced. After the big stress from our work area, we are coming into our home, and our home having a pleasant area like this, small indoor plants, small good air circulation, good temperature. What final happens is our stress level will be get reduced, and we will get in a pleasant, happy, and a good mood in our home. Finally, what happens is that our diseases will be reduced. We won't get diseases because we have a good ventilation. There won't be any air contamination. Our lungs are free. Then, if we are providing proper lightings inside the building, what happens? Our eyes are getting healthy. If the noise, if there is no noises inside the building, what happens? Our ears are very good. Ultimately, our mental health is increasing. So, let's do all those things. So thank you, my dear Alvin. Back to Alvin.
Thank you, Anoop. Thank you, Anoop, sir. Uh, I think its section is very good. Blizzy, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start the time. Thanks. Vote of thanks. I called Blizzy for the vote of thanks.
That was such an informative session, sir, Anup, sir. So now participants can post any queries and questions regarding this topic in the chat box. I think there are no more questions. So I request all the participants to fill the feedback form given in the chat box to get their certificate. So we have reached the end of today's session on space for healthy living. I am sure we have gained some interesting thoughts on how to design a living environment taking health consideration into account. So on behalf of Jyothi Engineering College Thrissur, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar organized by our institute. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God for making today's function a grand success. At the outset, I thank our chief guest and resource person, Mr. Anoop KT, structural engineer at Agrico Designs. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, sir. I would like to thank our principal and management for their enthusiastic support. A special thanks to the organizing committee, teaching and non-teaching staff for their unflinching support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to all the active participants. With these words, we move to the end of today's webinar. Thank you and have a great day. Now all can leave the webinar after filling the feedback form given in the chat box.
Thank you very much for giving an opportunity to share my thoughts with you all.
Thank you all. We can leave right now, and please fill the forms, feedback form.